one. Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, so maybe for the Q&A later, I will try to answer all your questions. Yeah, so to start off, thanks, Catherine. Yeah, to start off, so today our session, right, and good afternoon everybody, yeah. So our session is about like coping with depression. So thank you everyone for coming in. Yeah, so okay, as usual, all the welcome script, and to facilitate the session, hope that you all can mute yourself when you are not talking, and then unmute yourself if you have any question to ask, or you can put in the chat box, and turn on your video if possible, and just participate and enjoy the session with us. Okay, so short introduction of myself. Today I'm alone. I'm conducting this talk. I'm Alan here, Senior Care Manager for Quest team. So Quest actually stands for like Community Resource Engagement and Support Team. So for Quest, we're actually doing a lot of preventive work to outreach and then gives awareness talk like today's session. So I have like 5 years of experience with NTUC Health, working with residents at a shelter home premises, and also working with a senior in the community with complex needs. So I have a degree in social work, then currently pursuing my master in gerontology. So disclaimer, yeah, today's presentation for informational purpose only, should not be used to consider as a medical advice. So always consult a psychiatry doctors, or if any health concern, mental health concern about your specific condition. Okay, so today what's our focus, right? First, understanding what is depression. Then next, what are the causes or what are the possible causes, and how can we cope with it? And finally, to the Q&A session. Okay, so what is depression, right? What do you all think? Depression, what is depression? I think this word, sometimes we all quite loosely use it. Yeah, anyone has any definition on depression or have their own idea of depression you all want to share? If not, then we take a look. So there's actually a definition, what is depression about? Okay, it's a common mental condition affects a person, how he thinks, how he feels, how he behaves, and it's a continuous feeling. Or the keyword here is continuous. So it can be like just a day or of low mood, or maybe just wake up at the wrong side of the bed. So then sometimes people will just loosely use it, like I mentioned earlier, like, oh, today I have depression, or this guy got depression, just because of 1 or 2 days low mood. But then actually depression can be quite serious, or especially like those major depressive disorder, which contain sometimes suicidal thoughts. So depression, that's why for us social worker, we always say suspected, or with depressive symptoms. So the depression usually only diagnosed by the psychiatrist themselves. So it's a continuous feeling of sadness, emptiness, or associated with a sense of hopelessness, helplessness, empathy. So daily life affected or interfere with a person's ability to work, study, or enjoy activities, and can happen to anyone. So especially someone who going through or traumatic events, they may be affected. Okay, so what's the prevalence, right? Around 1 in 16 people in Singapore is having this major depressive disorder at least once in the lifetime for the age above 18. So this is from the studies, right? The major depressive disorder is the most common psychiatric disorder. Around 6.5% age above 18 years old experience the MDD at least once in the lifetime. Okay. So what's the difference, right, between depression, dementia? Actually quite a lot. I think you all will know. The previous talk we have is on dementia. So to recap, right, whether you all still can remember or not. Dementia, normal mood, or the mood swing, unless it affects the frontal lobe of the brain. If not, there may not be any mood swing. So the mood swing will be the normal mood for the dementia in the early stages. Then there may be some empathy, in the late stage. Whereas for depression, if a diagnosed client, it will be on the low mood. They will usually don't have any interest to do anything. For dementia, so the person will be easily confused, disoriented, or the ABCD. If you all still can remember. Then for depression, person is actually well oriented, of the place, the time, the person. For dementia, people will struggle with the short-term memory. So for depression, the person is having difficulty to concentrate, but their memory usually okay, not impaired, or they still can remember things. Just that they have difficulty to concentrate. Yeah, because of their not losing of interest in many things. Yeah. And for dementia, because of the brain, the cognitive wise affected, so there will be some issues when they want to write, to speak, or the language skills. Last week the previous talk we mentioned about them having issue to have a conversation. Right? So for depression, their language and motor skills may be a bit slower, but they are not impaired. So they are just they are just feeling lethargic most of the time. So they may be a bit slow in their activity. So for dementia, the person involved may not even notice or to care about the memory problem. Again, we mentioned during the previous talk, it's like a person with dementia usually how they found out is through their loved one who find that their behavior or forgot to lock doors, this and that. Whereas for a person with depression, they may worry or they will notice that their memory issue, and then there may be signs of confusion. So that's depression. Sometimes it's like worrying too much, always in a low mood, then quite negative. So that's why depression, this topic actually quite close to my heart. Because we realize a lot of people having depression, but then yet the loved one don't understand them. Not as much as with the loved one who is having a dementia. So for people who have dementia, I think their loved one will notice the difference easier due to their really loss orientation. Whereas for someone with depression, they are mostly just like being very negative. So if the loved one is not aware of such condition, they may just ask them to just like snap out of it, like why we always heard people, hey, snap out of it, why you always so negative? Why you always in a low mood? Why can't you cheer up? But then the thing is, it's not easy for someone with depression to cheer up. That's why they need a lot of professional help, like counselor, psychiatrist, or medication. So that's for depression. That's why when we see someone with depression, we ourselves as a social worker, community worker, when we visit someone with depression, we have to hype out ourselves also. It can be quite draining, to be honest, to talk to someone with depression, because they usually is some expert advice is like there's a black shadow dragging them down, or a black dog, or there's pulling them back. So it's not that they don't want to hype out themselves, but then it's just the mental condition that is deterring them in doing that. Okay, so for now, my colleague will share a video it's about like how someone with dementia also is having depression at the same time. Okay, 好心。
She has a severe fall, and that's why she was being admitted to hospital. In the hospital, she was shouting, biting, and then even want to fight the nurses. Then she also got one stage, she also say she wants to commit suicide. 有冇嘢問醫生啊？你自己
冇咩藥㗎咯。
我想問下你喎，近排覺得點樣啊？
冇乜嘢，20幾年嘅體弱。
20幾年。When she first admitted, was not because of depression, but because of confusion. And in hospital, we find she got infection of the urinary tract. 心情覺得點樣啊？心情會唔會有啲乜嘢唔開心啊？Out of expectation, she tried to use something on the ward to tighten, strangle herself on the ward. So that's why the psychiatry team was called. So that's how we first start to know she got depression.
She also worried about the financial, like her hospital bill, her medical bill, and also hiring a maid.
咩都唔使長得咁老啦，又唔係為錢嚟煩惱，有得食咪食，有得撐就食一餐。
係。
That's the main issues that I think she's more worried about. It's a burden to the children.
哋睇睇你最近個情況點樣好唔好啊？
好。
好，睇睇你嘅手點樣嚇。OK， 放鬆，俾我嚟喐下，俾我喐喐。
放鬆啊，睇醫生同你睇。
She has memory problem, also memory and mood problem at the same time. 試下呢一隻嚇，呢一邊。
90歲啦。
And because of that, we know we have been dealing with not just depression, but dementia as well in this case. It is very common in elderly who are having dementia to present with depressive features. The other way around is also true. Our brain is one organ, so all the functions are actually somehow linked. So you might think memory and mood may not be that related to each other. But in elderly, this is often how they present. The outside cortex of the brain is where we sense all the feelings. But in order for it to become our memory, the senses will be sensed to the inside of the brain. So inside of it is a system called the limbic system, where all information from outside will be processed. So both mood and memory are processed in the limbic system. After information has been processed here, they will sense information to the cortex again to be stored. Different part of the cortex will store different kind of memory. Like the prefrontal cortex will remember certain things, something related to the mood. You can see emotion will affect memory. On the other hand, the memory itself will affect the emotion. So when the memory function is not that good, or tend to remember sad things, they tend to be more sad.
Yep. Okay, housing. Yeah, today one a bit cheap, the doctor sharing about how our brain function. Right. So actually, studies also show that 40% of elderly with dementia will subsequently develop depression, or based on like maybe misunderstanding or even low mood when they have a problem remembering things. So yeah, around 40%, that's the statistics. Okay. So what are the possible causes of depression, right? Okay. So it's about like aging or as population ages rapidly. So age itself is one factor. Number of elderly with dementia, depression likely to increase. The physical, emotional, social changes also will occur during the aging process, which also can result in a psychological problem, and usually affects more women than men. But that could be also because like women are usually more expressive, so that when they are in low mood, or they will usually inform the next of kin, their loved ones, their friends, or what. So that's why they may be there's more diagnosis for the women than men, and also there's an increase in the suicidal rate among the elderly. So it also shows that like widowed or divorced older person above 65 years old more likely to experience depression compared to like before the earlier age. So as your age, don't divorce. Okay, psychological and social changes, right? So what are some of the changes one may experience during aging? The effect of confidence, self-esteem. So as one retires, right, especially, so it really depends on one contribution, whether they can like how it will impact their own confidence. So for some elderly who has their grandchildren, or they continue to impart their wisdom or to their grandchildren, so they still have this self-esteem or the confidence are there. Also try to contribute as much to the AACs or to be a volunteer, or to be continue to active lifestyle be a active lifestyle. Yes, I saw Mr. Ong raise the hand. Is it? Any question? You want to unmute yourself? No, accidentally raise the hand. Okay, then I continue. yeah, about ageism. Ageism is about like stereotyping lah. Or some of them we can always not always lah. We sometimes hear people say, the younger one will say, the old one, or everything also slow already. So don't let these words affect us. Right. So ageism is a common stereotypical thing, but then we try not to let them affect our own mood, our own emotion. Right. So about the role changes, yes. So sometimes things like emptiness syndrome, or when your kids actually get married, or when even your grandchildren get married. So someone that you used to hold on to, then so for a contribution kind of role, or when you used to look after them, then suddenly there's no need for you all to look after them anymore. So there may be some changes, or like from contributing to your family after you retire, kind of like better to depend on yourself lah. But some of us will have to depend on our children. So there will be a role changes kind of thing. Loss of partners, yeah, this is quite common, which is one of the, I think, common factors of depression. And also, of course, due to loneliness, boredom, or loss of not just partners, or maybe friends, or the close ones. And during retirement, which will, of course, contribute to a financial concern, or especially nowadays, inflation rate is quite high in Singapore. So try maybe to find some ways of financial means lah, or maybe to rent out the rooms or what. Yeah. Okay, next we continue just now the video on like what are the causes. The doctor can share some of the causes.
That time I have another auntie, also about the same age with her lah. So they come together, and then they will go to find good food, and then we will go shopping together. Then after my auntie passed away, she even feel more lonely. Most of the time she is quite independent and then very mobile. That time she was having the stroke, then suddenly she lost of all these mobilities. Then I think she also get even more depressed. Actually, she's quite nice to everybody, but it's only the individual that they have their own commitment, so they don't have much time for her also. I mean, she will feel sad, but she never speak out.
I think for elderly patients, they have been with their spouse for such a long time. Losing their spouse especially is the most devastating.
Did you give her the number that I gave you the other day? Stanley and the wife was first known to Dover Park Hospice, the home care service, and then I was the assigned medical social worker to work with Stanley and the wife.
Actually, discover jaundice first. After that, the pancreas cancer. Okay for 2 months. Come back. Now I take her stomach and lung. And then the thing go downhill.
I recall that he did look quite down most of the time because of the wife condition. He was pretty worried.
The mind like he will one. Then from there I cannot concentrate on anything. Sleep sometimes very hard to sleep. Keep on rolling until 2-3 o'clock, then sleep.
we predict there might be some difficult bereavement issue. So we want to really work upwards and to prevent the difficult grief situation from happening. So what we did was we actually refer him to SAGE counselling so that the community counsellor or social worker can visit Stanley at home and to provide some bereavement counselling after the wife passed away.
Hello. So how are you today?
Okay.
When I first noticed he was restless, he said he was usually very tired, and then sometimes he slept a lot, and then sometimes he slept too little, and then he has difficulty in concentrating, and he lose interest in activities, taking part in activities and so forth. So you feel pek-cek, and then you also start crying for no apparent reason. So you release out the emotion.
Try to relieve the pain.
So you cry out to release the pain.
The worst thing is the partner has gone, passed on. That become a devastating part for their life, actually. So for them, it will be much more stressful than younger age groups to adapt, both emotionally and also socially.
Yes, so from the video, you all can see the causes of the depression. Yeah, usually it's the loss of the spouse lah. And also the symptoms like losing sleep or lost interest in most of the things. And then what's the intervention like? How they cope for the uncle? Thankfully for the MSW, the medical social worker in the hospice, she actually linked up with a counselor from the SAGE counseling. I saw the counselor before. Yeah, SAGE, they are doing a lot of help for our elderly in the community who has a risk of social isolation, depression. So same thing, or if you all know of anyone who may have a risk of falling into such a situation or losing the mood, or just lost their loved one, can always feel free to contact us. So Christine, myself, my colleague will also visit client or at their home environment. Yeah, so to follow up or to engage them in activities. So that's how one of the coping strategy that we have for the seniors. Yeah, so what are the depression? So it may include what are the symptoms, like some mental, emotional disorder, persistent feeling of sadness, or long-lasting, recurrent, and usually affects more women than men. But the good thing is, bold and highlight here is depression is treatable. Also a bit unlike dementia. Dementia, we know that it cannot be cured, so depression actually can be cured. And recently, I just heard of a client, the wife was sharing with me how the husband actually, after seeing the psychiatry, taking medication, joining the daycare service, all the depression recovered. He actually recovered. Yeah, so that's something quite heartwarming. Yeah. Okay, some other symptoms. Like there will be a change in appetite, or always feeling sad, depressed, feeling sense of worthlessness, trouble in handling finance even, some memory loss, and changes in appearance, withdrawal symptom. Yeah. And always feeling tired, negative, sadness, or some negative, the coping mechanism will be like increase alcohol or start smoking, loss of interest, prefer to be isolated, social withdrawal, sleep disturbance, weight loss, and the worst will be like the suicidal thoughts . Okay, so these are some myths and what are the truth actually. So the myth is like clinical depression is normal as sadness. So actually, this is the truth is depression is not normal sadness. So let's say the loss of the loved ones, right? It's okay to grieve, right? There will be sadness involved, but usually it shouldn't be more than 2 weeks or a month lah. So after 1 whole month, still feel sad, or that will be something that may need to seek professional help. Yeah. So another myth is depression is not real illness or just a sign of a person weakness. I mentioned earlier, like there's a lot of myth, or we just sometimes loosely use it, the term depression, or as long as someone low mood, we always say there's a person has depression. So this is not true. The thing is, the truth is depression is a real illness, or it's not a sign of a personal weakness. So when people ask to snap out of it, it's actually not a good coping method, or you really need to seek some professional help with the help of perhaps medication and counseling. So the another myth, or depression is not a serious illness, you can snap out of it. Or it can be quite a serious illness. So it may be easy, it may not be easy, or for someone to snap out of it without any treatment. So really you need a lot of support, or a bit similar to the dementia. Yeah, previously I think I mentioned about like the 5 supports required, like to seek medication, or then after that is counseling, family support, social support, community support, all are necessary to help someone with a depression. Another myth, grown men don't cry, or so no risk of depression. But just now you also saw the video, right? Uncle losing the wife, then suddenly all alone. How can don't cry, right? So they cry, but sometimes alone at night. So very thankful for the medical social worker when they know the family background. Or what we worry is like those uncle who don't tell anyone, they are more reserved, so they thought that they can cope on their own. So these are the ones who will really be at risk also. Then what happened next when the social isolation, all the thoughts went well, then the suicidal thoughts comes in. This is where the accident may happen lah. Okay, bereavement and grief are indications of depression. So they are different. Like I mentioned earlier, bereavement and grief are different from depression. It's okay if someone pass on, or then you'll grieve for like 2 weeks to a month. But then a prolonged period, then it's no good. Then you may cause depression. And the people are depressed all the time, there is no need for treatment. And this is very ageism, very stigma. Yeah, so sometimes older people are just more reserved, right? And it's not normal for older people to be depressed all the time. So sharing our experience, or we have people when we visit those who are in their 90s, they are usually very bubbly, very optimistic kind of person. So that's one thing I learned from the longevity. If you want to live long age, it's good to remain smiley and be positive in life. Okay, some recap, right? Yeah, on depression. So there will be loss of social support. These are the causes. Yeah, major changes in life event, health problem, or living alone, or recent bereavement. Yeah. So how then can we manage the coping part? Okay. So through the psychotherapy, counseling or psychotherapy, joining a support group, or then to exercise. Exercise can almost cure like everything. It prevents. Because it actually results also just show exercise does help to reduce the prevalence of depression. So relaxation therapy or mindfulness. Then ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, is something more drastic, usually for the major depressive disorder, with suicidal thought, and it's proven to be quite useful. So in the event, how can we help? Or get the person, your loved one, to see a doctor so that he can be diagnosed, and be treated accordingly. And offer some emotional support, spend time, encourage him to open up, offer a listening ear. So sometimes they does not actually require us to give any advice, or you just need to lend them a listening ear, or you see a person in a low mood. It's very wonderful for us to ask our neighbor, Because when sometimes is when a person face like depression or envy, right, they won't really go and ask someone for help, or they rather just be isolated, be with themselves. So when neighbors or the friends can offer this just a simple question or just a simple 问候 or to ask whether how are you feeling, you want to share anything with me, and just lend them a listening ear. Hopefully they will open up to you. Yeah. So encourage the person if he already like diagnosed or to continue with the treatment. Because the best feedback to the psychiatrist or the doctors, right, is to give them the feedback. So sometimes the medication for depression may be a bit drowsy, also they may tends to sleep too much or become very listless. So this will have to feedback to doctor. Then from there they may like adjust the dosage accordingly. And then if a depressed person mention not willing to live anymore, so this is when crisis happens. So call up any social worker that you all know of, yeah, or send him for the emergency department if required. And yeah, so some other tips to manage with depression. So exercise, connect with others, or have regular social activities. I saw like Depot, AAC, I think you're, to gather around, have a community social engagement. These are very good ways to connect with others to prevent depression. And having support group and laughter. Laughter is just now I mentioned one, or those who are in their 90s, they are very optimistic regardless their health, or I cannot say 90 years old, no health condition they have, but then they still just smile or just go along with it. Yeah. So maintain a healthy diet, proper medication, get enough sleep, and seek professional help when required. Like guide for caregiver. We can ask housing to share.
Living with a Black Dog, a guide for partners, carers and sufferers. What not to say or do. You may well be right when you say, it's all in your head, but don't say it. Leave that up to the professionals. Be a man. This certainly doesn't help, especially if they are one already. Depression is an illness, not a sign of weakness. Don't be an armchair general who gives unfounded advice and orders. Being thoughtful and kind will never go amiss, but don't try and jolly them along. It can often make them feel worse. Don't point out that there are people in this world far worse off than them. It just adds to their feelings of guilt and hopelessness. Good things to say and do. Be sensitive about how you approach the subject. A lot of people aren't used to talking about their mental health, or lack of it. Crossing that line simply means you care. Try not talking. Instead, grow your ears and open your heart. Really being there for someone without opinion or judgment is one of the best gifts you can ever give. Encourage them to seek a professional opinion and offer to help find a good doctor, make an appointment, and even going with them can be hugely beneficial. Encourage any form of regular exercise. Fitness robs the dog of its power. Help them develop a strategy to simplify their life, both at home and at work. Stress is one of the biggest drivers of depression. Less stress means less dog. Make them a ditch the dog box. Encourage them to fill it with favourite photographs, letters, or anything that reminds them of what's good in their life. Include a dog journal. Here they can plot how they're feeling, acknowledge progress, record the things they're grateful for, and set doable goals. Embracing the black dog. Agree to a course of action to get rid of the black dog. An ignored dog can become a big problem. Learn about the condition together. Knowledge is power, and validation is a great healer. A united front is crucial in getting the black dog to move on. As a caregiver, compassion, empathy and understanding are vital, but recognise that you alone don't have the power to rescue your loved one. Professional help is often what's needed. Finding the right doctor can make all the difference to a healthy recovery. If they're going to tell someone their problems, it should be someone they respect and feel comfortable with. Don't be afraid to go for an initial assessment and don't feel committed to continue if it doesn't feel right. If it's suggested you take antidepressants, do your research, know the facts and ask your doctor plenty of questions. A big obstacle for seeking professional help is the cost. Help them realise that the cost of not getting the right help can be considerably higher. It can cost marriages, friendships, jobs, and even life itself. Some simple rules of engagement and agreement. Agree that there is a black dog in your midst and things may have to change temporarily. Agree that no one can help them until they fully commit to helping themselves. Agree to be gentle and respectful with one another during this time. Agree to check in with each other on a regular basis. Agree to communicate honestly and openly. Agree to the course of action set by their doctor and to review progress regularly. Self-preservation for the caregiver. It can be difficult not to take anger, criticism, negativity and apathy personally. It's important not to buy into it. Accept that it's the depression barking, not the person you care for. Being overexposed to someone else's black dog can begin to rub off. Misery loves company, so try not to get sucked into the vortex. It's really important to recognise and honour your own needs, limitations and boundaries. Difficult situations are better dealt with when you are calm and in the moment. Yoga, meditation and mindfulness are great tools for achieving calmness and control. Join a support group. There's nothing like being in a room full of people who understand and share your story. It's important to get out and do your own thing and be with friends. Friends may not be able to solve your problems, but they can offer incredible support, comfort, wisdom and laughter. A black dog in any relationship can be confronting, frightening and frustrating. But navigated together, the bond can become deeper, richer and better for it. And finally, the most important aspect of this journey is to constantly remind each other, it will pass, it will pass, it will pass. If you have a black dog in your life, get help, be helped, and always hold on to hope.
How y'all find the video? Yeah, so that's the expert advice for if you are carers for someone with depression. So like I mentioned earlier, I have this, the wife, amazing, how she has the patience, to look after the husband. And also, she shared with me about like how she handled the husband depression, ready to find back the previous interest, playing mahjong or so during the daycare session, so the husband will join other kakis. So without gambling element inside, just play for the fun of it and can help him also. So try to find some interest to motivate the person with depression or to gain back their interest in the activities. Okay, so old age not a disease after all the mental wellness talk you all should understand. Something that we should embrace on. And then is an investment? No, of course. So what are the investment, right? So like you put in money into your bank, you get some interest, right? So this investment is you put your time to social participate in the activities, mingle around with friends and such. So the benefit or some connectivity will help to improve your mental wellness and strengthen your mental well-being. So overall, the return will be instead of getting the interest, now the return is good health, general good health, or mental, physical health. So mental health is ageless. go for some health screening, go for some mental wellness screening, learning to let go, especially for like mental wellness, or accept the loss, explore new meaning in life, or make new friends, join some new activity. You never know, you will just maybe it becomes a hobby, develop healthy habits or to enhance your overall wellness. Right, so you can join us or with all the activities at your AACs or daycare center. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation today. Any Q&A, question and answer?
Hello,
And-
Mr. Alan. Just now
Yes.
you showed the link about some of those activities, Tango. That can you show the link again? Okay, thanks.
This one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you.
yeah. Maybe I try to copy and paste in the. Not sure whether I can do that. Paste in the link. Maybe my colleague can assist. Yes. Any other questions? Because maybe just share our community experience. Where we actually, right now we are also doing some community outreach, whereby we'll go door knocking to the resident. Maybe some of you in the Bukit Merah, Taman Jurong, or you all will see my colleagues on the community or care team. So this is an initiative by MOH to look out for seniors, to check in with them whether they have any health issue, any concern, so we can help them to do out the service linkage. So while we are doing all this outreach, right, when we knock on the door, we'll kind of like realize some potential social isolation resident. Then we'll check in with the neighbors or whether anyone staying in the unit. You will see that neighbors will inform us that there's an elderly staying just alone, and end up the windows all closed, the door closed, and it looks very dark, very dusty from the outside, almost like nobody's staying inside. So these are some telltale signs that this elderly may be facing some social isolation and who may be at risk with depression. I think some of you post in the chat, or my colleague post the link in the chat. And also in the chat, there's an evaluation form. So for some of you who can do up the evaluation form, we'll appreciate your assistance so we can improve better. Let's say you have any topic that you want to want us to maybe do some research and then can conduct the topics as well. So that will be inside the evaluation form. You can let us know. And of course, how we can improve with our presentation. Like too many videos, too little videos. You all want more real life experience or more specialized kind of thing. Then we may need to hire. We need to invite a doctor or a psychiatrist, neurologist, to come and help. Hello, madam.
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Can I ask questions?
Sure. And then Christina.
Is it that our character also
plays a part? Personality. Some are more introvert, some are more extrovert. Probably. And then whether there will be some genetic concern. So sometimes for mental, right, proper diagnosis, most of the time they may not have a good cause of it. We only know that it somehow affects our brain, but then how it actually affects, right? A lot of time there may not be a concrete reason. So when mental like dementia, they usually go through the MRI screening, then they realize the brain or the functionality weaken certain part. Then that's where the diagnosis come in. But how it actually, why the brain become how the brain was affected, the cause of it usually unknown. But then for depression, we do understand like family background, or if some family previously or have some depressive symptom, then there may be some kind of genetic inheritance. And of course yes.
It continue, please.
So that for introvert and extrovert also we must take note of. So sometimes because when I run the shelter home that time, there's this lady who does not like to participate in activities. But then when I visit her, she still can talk to me quite openly. Then she just informed me that she will spend her days like readings or just mostly reading lah, because she's already in her 90s, but then she still reads. So that's the difference between whether someone is socially isolated, whether they really lost interest in everything, or between the introvert who actually just prefer to be alone or to read. So must continue the activities in life lah. Then for someone who doesn't like to mingle, make new friends, then perhaps our advice is to like technology lor. Also, the one lady I met is in her 70s, so I also suspect she maybe has some social isolation issue. So then we'll check in with her whether what's her hobby, what's her daily routine like. So she will still share with me, or rather than just shut me off. So that's another good thing. So she will still open out, talk with me, and she say that she learned a lot of things from YouTube. So she started like baking on her own, or via what YouTube taught her. So these are some new activities that keep her going, but then she just doesn't like to mingle around with others. Yeah. So I don't think that will be under depressive lah. As long as the mood is there, or it's not always the low mood, don't want to engage in any activity, and that is quite safe.
So if somebody was cured of depression, will it come back again?
Yeah. Will it come back again? Probably we hope not lah. But then the psychiatry I heard is like they can never close off the chances of recurrence. Yeah. So we try to engage them as much as we can lah. Hopefully it doesn't come back. But then there may be some trigger factors which we may not be able to so-called close off lah. Like suddenly if there's a loss of loved ones or what, then we have to monitor closely lor.
I ask questions like this because I for example, I know two young girls. One told us when she's recovered from depression, she said that like that moment she find that how could she be like that so she has she believes God so she prayed to God so from then on she's all right but another girl they are related she did very well in like in the study but she because of like something like in the study, so she got depression. She took quite long time to be recovered. She also have suicidal tendency. But now she's recovered. So I wonder whether she will like because of can be because of character. Like someone anything happens, she just take it easy. Actually, I find races also like also have like I find that Malay they are more happy like this than Chinese. Chinese are more, so this my concept. Why just now earlier I know this is the health talk for elderly, but because I watch TV news I know that in this pandemic during this pandemic season, many young people, I think that if at home young people also got this problem, and if they carry on like this, actually it's already a burden for their parents also. I hope
parents must support parents must support because nowadays I think academic stress in fact our quest team we are reaching out to 18 and above soon. Yes, because sometimes school counselor I think they also quite hand tied so we try to reach out to the students if possible, and especially the parents parents burden stress sometimes because I met up with one uncle who told me the son having a depression issue. Then he's really at a loss. He can be quite frustrated because quite frustrating because the son end up couldn't go to NS, not yet, always on deferment because I think due to this depressive issue So then the father really like why my son already 20 over years old still cannot go out and still have to wait for NS so these are some issues that we brought up also. Hopefully can help to release the caregiver stress Then for the son himself, he's also going through some counseling session with the family service center. So For the races wise, actually I saw a study is like when younger one maybe they are like more carefree but in older for elderly actually it is about the same the ratio. In fact, there may be a bit more, probably due to their health condition. Because we also understand that Malay and Indian, they will have a higher prevalence of like hypertension or what. So that might impact on their mental health also lah.
Okay, thank you. I find this talk make me feel, don't know why, I just feel quite warm in the heart lah, like the like tender care for the caregiver. God bless them. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Ao. Yes. It's foreign. Keep talking, don't let others talk. Exactly. And it's always talking about the past. How can we help them? Miss Foreign. So you met someone with a depressive issue. For my experience, right, as a community worker, we have to listen to them talk for almost 2-3 hours. Every session. So can be quite tiring, I must say. Quite draining. Then how can we help them? So really encourage them. So not just us. So it is a good thing that this person willing to talk to you actually. Because they may not able to talk to anyone. Some of them, like those impatient kind, may just shut them off. So let them continue talking. It's all about the past really. Most of the time it's about the past. Because it's something that they can't let go. So it's always a lot of grievance, I will say. How people ill-treated them. And it's always other people's fault from my experience. When they share with me that time. Bipolar is also a depression. I just I'm not too sure why, but I Google search on like depression and bipolar disorder is under depression. So then so how to help these people? I really like the 5 ways or social activities or bring them out, join new activities to encourage them to try out new things. So it's not easy. So and then send them for like counseling session. If you want, you can maybe I put my number here. Just text me the contact, then I can link out with the person. Or we'll try to refer them for counseling session. Then depends on their financial means. Of course, I will say, so-called the more session, the better it will be. Or together with the psychiatrist's recommendation. Hope that answer your question. Take photo. Maybe we'll take a group. We'll take a group snapshot. Let me stop share. And if y'all can, if it's convenient, maybe y'all can on the screen. Then my colleague can help to take a snapshot. 3, 2, 1. Here again. Okay. Can. Thank you.
谢谢你们哦。
下个星期就华语讲座啦。Next week will be the same topic on 忧郁症咯。Exactly the same, but will be in Mandarin. Anything can always text us 啦，有什么问题都可以联络我们的号码。尤其是关于年长者在社区有一些behavior issues 有一些行为上的一些怪怪的东西，都可以联络我们。我们可以做家访进一步改善
谢谢你们，谢谢。
拜拜。
Thank you.
再见哦，再见哦，再见哦。
你们忘记了 Ravina 是那个 QR code， 你们要 scan 你们的 passion card。我也 scan 了。我出来了。我的。